Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We are at the Cloud Expo 2011 in Manhattan. On our program, Kim Legelis. She is the VP of Marketing at Core Security. And Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Very happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what Core Security does.
Core Security is a security test and measurement company. So for 15 years, we've helped organizations realize whether or not they're vulnerable to attack by giving them technology that replicates all of the behaviors and methodologies used by hackers so they can protect themselves by knowing in advance, could it happen to them?
Now, is it something that runs all the time, or is it just once in a while that you would apply it to your system?
Really good question. So we have different types of technology. Our most recent product is called Core Insight, and it operates on a near continuous basis. You can run security tests as often and as frequently as you like, whether that's weekly, monthly, daily, or hourly. It's really up to the person who buys the technology, how often they want to operate it.
Sony wasn't a customer, right?
I'm not making any comments about who our customers are.
You just have to mention Sony with the recent outbreaks that they've had with their networks. That it's been real tough, but it shows you the downside of having a hole inside of your network where some hackers can get in and do damage, right?
Right, and so what we want people to know is that if they want to find out if that could happen to them, they should be testing their systems in the same way that hackers are testing them every day. And that's what our company has done for the last 15 years.
Now, in terms of your customer base, have you seen any changes in the last couple years, or is it the same sort of customers that you've always had?
I think the changes that we have seen are more companies, larger companies know that they need to test on a regular basis, that it's really important for them to get proactive and find out whether or not they have vulnerable, their systems are vulnerable, their web applications are vulnerable, their clients are vulnerable, so they can get ahead of the threats and fix those problems before the bad guys find them.
And it seems that government especially has been under attack more and more than ever. I've been reading more about how government Gmail accounts and just literally government servers, government everything is under attack, not only by crime syndicates, but other governments, it seems. So there's a constant, we call it cyber warfare. It really is cyber warfare, country to country, trying to infiltrate each other's systems.
There's definitely an escalation of attacks for financial reasons, for national reasons, and that's just a fact. I think we're a society that's dependent upon information technology and the internet, and that infrastructure is becoming, vulnerable and is becoming attackable. Or it's more. I think it's really that the attacks are more publicized as well than they used to be. But it's definitely something that makes our business really relevant right now.
Sure.
But
there's just more effort being. It looks like. It just seems like there's a lot more. But we know that crime syndicates in the last 5 to 10 years have focused a lot more on infiltrating companies, right? Just because that's where the money is, right? It's why was it Willie Sutton?
Yeah, I think 94% of all data records that were breached were from financial institutions last year. That's what Verizon, their attack report noted. And I've been in security a really long time, and it started that hacking was sort of hacking as a hobby. People wanted notoriety for doing it, and then it changed dramatically for financial gain, and it became organized. And now we're seeing not only hacking for financial gain, but also for other types of reasons, and hacktivists who are back to hacking for the sake of proving it can be hacked rather than for financial gain in some cases. So there's I see that there's different motivations for hacking, and the old ones don't go away. There's just new ones that keep accumulating, and it's one of the reasons why when I read the headlines, it frustrates me a lot. I get angry because I think, why aren't organizations taking steps to find out if that could happen to them before it does? And that's the mission of our company for 15 years has been to do that, whether it's through consulting services or technology that's used by real security experts, or most recently in products we brought to market where it's automated, where all that hacker intelligence is built into our technology because we have years of experience doing it and thousands of exploits that can be used. So organizations can really have an opportunity to get more proactive and not feel like they're just waiting to fall victim.
Now, some of the recent attacks that we've seen, like I believe it was Google in China, it was a spear phishing attack, really person by person via fake social networking messages, exploiting vulnerabilities in operating systems that hadn't been patched or to the latest versions. Is that also something that you can help with, or is that a different sort of security?
It's not a different type of security. Spear phishing, good spear phishing, is very hard to train people not to fall victim to, right? So our products can test clients, can conduct fake phishing attacks, so an organization could see, well, 20% of the folks in my company might fall victim to a phishing attack.
Like Bank of America or something like that?
Any organization that chooses to do that kind of testing can use our technology to help them automate it.
That's a common one. You get it from a bank, you get it from...
Right. The spear phishing is a much more sophisticated attack, and the technology that would be required to test those is much more difficult to emulate. But the second part of those attacks, which are about, once they have gotten into a system, then finding whole vulnerabilities in software and actually exploiting them, that's exactly what our software does in an automated, replicable manner, so that those holes can be discovered and then organizations can go and fix them.
It's worth mentioning that crime syndicates are also putting their people within some of these Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 organizations and infiltrating from the inside and the outside simultaneously. Is that something that you've been seeing?
Well, I wouldn't want to comment on what our products see in organizations. Obviously, organizations use our technologies to make themselves smarter against attacks, but I can tell you that our customers use our products by putting them on the outside and testing in. They also have the opportunity to put them on the inside and see what an insider threat could accomplish as well.
So you can help protect against that kind of problem?
By helping them identify where those holes are. That's right.
So what's next for the company?
What's next is the cloud, right? So if you don't have to be a genius to realize what the sea change is that's happening in IT. So while we as a company have helped organizations with their network systems and with their web applications on-premise, those are now moving off-premise. And so our latest solution is to test cloud deployments. So to test to see if web applications or network systems are actually vulnerable in the cloud.
That's good. Well, thanks so much for being on the program.
You're welcome. I appreciate the time. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.